What if the greatest misunderstanding in human history isn't about science or religion? It's about you. For thousands of years, humanity has spoken of the soul as if it were a singular, simple thing. But Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, revealed a profound secret that changes everything. Your spirit and your soul are not the same. One is the eternal spark of God, the divine essence that never fades. The other is the traveler, the repository of the memory of every life you have ever lived across time. Until you understand this distinction deeply, you cannot fully know yourself. Stay with us, because once you see what Cayce discovered, you'll never look at life, death, or heaven the same way again. What if everything you've ever believed about your soul is only half the story? Edgar Cayce claimed to have uncovered a truth so profound it redefines what it means to be human. In trance, he said, "Your soul and your spirit are not the same. One carries the eternal spark of God, the other carries the entire record of your journeys through time." That single distinction, Cayce said, changes everything: how we understand death, heaven, reincarnation, purpose, even love itself. Most people move through life never sensing this difference. In that confusion, the soul remains restless, searching for what it already contains. But once you understand who and what you truly are, fear begins to dissolve. Before we dive deeper, please share your thoughts below. What do you believe the soul really is? Your reflections might open someone else's mind as we explore these mysteries together. Today, we'll journey through Cayce's extraordinary revelation: how the soul and spirit interact, why their confusion keeps humanity asleep, and how remembering their unity can awaken a profound divine peace within you. The threefold design of being. For Edgar Cayce, this was far more than philosophy. It was a profound observation from another dimension. When he entered his deep trance states, he described accessing the Akashic records, a living archive that holds every thought, emotion, and action of every soul throughout time. From this expansive field of consciousness, Cayce perceived that a human being is essentially a triad: body, soul, and spirit. The body serves as the temporary garment through which our experiences unfold, a physical vessel for the soul's journey. The spirit is the unchangeable spark, pure, luminous, and incorruptible, an eternal essence that remains untouched by the passing of lifetimes. Flowing between these two is the soul, the traveler bridging the divide between heaven and earth, carrying all memories and lessons. Cayce said, "The soul carries both the memory of God and the scars of time." It is this part of us that learns, loves, stumbles, forgives, and evolves through countless incarnations, always seeking reunion with its divine source. By contrast, the spirit never sins nor fears. It is the original image of the Creator within every one of us. Every thought and action we undertake paints the vast canvas of the soul, each experience etching color, texture, and meaning. This is why Cayce taught that salvation is not an escape from the world, but transformation through it, learning to express the spirit's light within the dense material of physical life. When the soul forgets its origin, anxiety and emptiness arise, clouding our view and peace. But when it remembers that the Spirit of God lives within, life itself changes character. The battlefield of challenges becomes a classroom, and suffering transforms into instruction rather than punishment. Cayce warned that the greatest sleep humanity suffers is the confusion between soul and spirit. We worship the outer, the visible, the material, while neglecting the inner spark that quietly waits to be noticed and awakened. The pattern revealed in Christ. To Edgar Cayce, Jesus embodied the profound example of what occurs when the soul perfectly yields to the spirit. Christ's life demonstrated that divinity and humanity can coexist harmoniously in a single will, where love governs as the supreme law. Cayce emphasized that the Christ spirit was not confined to one individual alone. Rather, it is the divine potential latent within every soul, waiting to be awakened. Because of this, he urged spiritual seekers to stop searching for God only in physical buildings or sacred books, and instead begin the inward search in silence, stillness, and contemplation. He repeatedly echoed the words spoken by Christ himself: "The kingdom of God is within you." Meditation, prayer, forgiveness, and compassion, Cayce taught, are not mere moral adornments. They are practical spiritual technologies, tools designed to help us remember and reclaim the soul's true identity. Each time you choose understanding rather than judgment, your soul vibrates closer to the subtle frequency of spirit. Each act of selfless service without expectation invites the Creator to act through you in the world. When asked whether soul and spirit are the same, Cayce offered a simple yet profound reply. The spirit is life. The soul is the record of that life. Your spirit is the divine breath that enlivens you. Your soul is the epic narrative that breath writes across the timeless expanse of eternity. The journey of the soul. Edgar Cayce often described the soul as a traveler journeying across vast landscapes of experience. Each lifetime represents another country explored, a new chapter filled with beauty, sorrow, wisdom, and scars. With every incarnation, the soul learns to reflect the light of the spirit more clearly. He emphasized that this journey is not punishment, but opportunity. Each challenge becomes a teacher, each joy a reminder, and every relationship a mirror showing where love still needs to grow. When you begin to see life this way, the question, "Why is this happening to me?" transforms into, "What is this trying to teach my soul?" That shift in focus marks the beginning of true awakening. Yet Cayce warned, many souls forget why they came. They chase shadows, money, power, recognition, mistaking these illusions for true light. But shadows fade, while only spirit endures. Real fulfillment arises when the soul stops resisting the current of divine will and starts to flow with it. Cayce likened this harmony to tuning an instrument. When thought, emotion, and action resonate with divine essence, peace flows effortlessly. Goodness no longer needs to be forced. It plays through you like music through a well-tuned string. Cayce saw this harmony fully embodied in Jesus. The Master did not come to display superiority, but to demonstrate perfect alignment. When asked how to strengthen the inner connection, Cayce's answer was always the same: live with love. Love, he said, is the language of God, the frequency of spirit itself. Every act of love brings the soul into resonance with its divine source. Forgiveness breaks down the walls separating you from this current. Prayer opens the heart. Meditation trains the mind to listen. He reminded his followers that God never stops speaking. The world is just too noisy to hear. And when that noise finally settles, peace is not something to be found externally. It is something to be remembered. Beneath every fear and ambition lies a quiet, timeless awareness, untouched by pain. That is spirit. When you act from that awareness, even in small, simple ways, helping a stranger, showing patience despite anger, you live as a soul guided by spirit. Each choice like this is a step home. If this resonates with you, please share a thought below. What practice helps you remember your deeper self beneath the noise? Your answer might be the doorway another soul needs. Part 3, and when the soul remembers. Edgar Cayce often said that dying is less an end than a profound revelation. When the body falls away, the soul awakens fully to the record it has authored throughout life. There is no courtroom, no divine prosecutor, only the radiant spirit within, revealing to the soul the fruits of every thought and action. The spirit itself remains pure and compassionate, observing as the soul reviews its story. Acts of kindness shine like light. Moments of fear or cruelty appear as shadows awaiting transformation. Judgment, Cayce explained, is simply the soul witnessing truth. But even then, God does not condemn. He invites. Every realization opens another door for growth in wisdom and love. That's why Cayce called mercy and grace the true laws of heaven. The spirit never punishes. It educates through love. What we call karma is not cosmic revenge, but a gentle tutoring system, lessons recurring until understanding dawns. Awakening, Cayce said, does not require dramatic miracles. It unfolds through steady practice, a morning prayer, a quiet act of forgiveness, a moment of restraint when the ego would otherwise dominate. Faith, he taught, means translating what you know into the way you live. The spirit gives life, but the soul must choose how to use it. Every thought influences the subtle body. Anger clouds it. Love brings illumination. When you think in compassion, the light of God flows freely through you. Because the outer world mirrors the inner, healing yourself ripples out to heal the planet. Cayce saw humanity's collective suffering as an echo of millions of restless souls forgetting their source. Each soul who forgives, prays, or acts in kindness adds a pulse of harmony to the vast field of life. Even the physical body responds to this harmony. Many of Cayce's medical readings linked illness to spiritual imbalance, resentment turning into hardened tissue, fear constricting the heart. The cure, he said, was not only medicine but reconciliation. When the soul finds peace, the body follows. Healing is the physical signature of inner alignment. That's why Cayce encouraged prayer, not to change God's will, but to restore harmony between soul and spirit. He called illness a message from the higher self, a signal to realign with love. When we heed that message, the energy of life begins to flow again, and the body remembers how to heal itself. Part 4. The Return of the Divine Within. Edgar Cayce often reminded us that while the spirit can never be lost, the soul can forget. This forgetfulness he called spiritual sleep, a deep slumber from which every crisis that shakes our lives serves as a disguised grace, an alarm meant to awaken us. Suffering, Cayce taught, is not a form of divine punishment but divine permission. It is the universe's way of allowing the soul to remember what truly matters. Through pain, we are pressed toward truth, toward surrender, and toward love. Nothing is wasted, not even our mistakes. Every tear has the potential to become light when the soul chooses to understand. To Cayce, Jesus was not a distant idol, but a living example of a soul perfectly reflecting the Spirit. He named this awakened state Christ consciousness, not belonging to one man, but available to every being who chooses to love without condition. When you forgive your enemies, serve with joy, and meet cruelty with compassion, you are already living in that consciousness. The Spirit within you and the Spirit of God vibrate as one. That unity, Cayce said, is the true meaning of salvation. Not escape from sin, but transformation through it. Darkness itself becomes sacred once it is understood. Earth is a school designed for this purpose. Every joy, every heartbreak, every meeting and parting part of a divine curriculum. The people who bless you and those who test you are both instruments of growth. Once this is seen, judgment dissolves. You realize everyone, no matter how lost, carries the same spark. Some souls shine brightly, others are still learning to uncover their light. Cayce taught that love is the one force that survives death, the only currency of heaven. The soul that learns to love purely has already touched paradise. And love, he said, is not merely sentiment. It is the spiritual law of creation itself, the vibration that holds galaxies together. That is why Cayce's message was never about followers but about remembrance. He wanted humanity to recall its divine origin. The spirit in you is the same spirit in your neighbor, in your enemy, in the stranger on the street. We are many souls, but one spirit. The illusion of separation is the source of suffering, and the awareness of unity is salvation. Cayce foresaw a future age when this realization would spread, a global awakening where millions live as spirit expressing through form. He called it the return of the Christ consciousness, not a man descending from the clouds, but countless hearts turning toward light simultaneously. Every person who forgives, prays, and loves without reason becomes a lamp pushing back the world's shadow. That, Cayce said, is how the planet will be healed, one illumined soul at a time. The Spirit provides the music, the soul learns the dance. Each mistake, each courageous act refines the movement until it becomes grace again. The day you stop identifying with your wounds and start identifying with your purpose, you begin to live as spirit in form. The voice of God, once distant, becomes intimate. Guidance appears naturally because you are finally listening. Cayce's favorite reminder still rings true. The spirit is the life, the mind is the builder, and the physical is the result. Your life right now is a reflection of what your soul has built. If you want to see change, build differently. Think with kindness, act with faith, speak with love. When the soul mirrors the purity of spirit, peace flows effortlessly. You then understand what Jesus meant when he said, "I and the Father are one." You were never meant to reach God someday. You were meant to reveal him today, through every thought, every word, every action. If this message touched your heart, please take a moment to like the video and share your reflections below. Your voice might awaken another spirit. And subscribe, because this is only the beginning. In the next episode, we'll explore how consciousness itself shapes reality. Until then, remember, you are not a body seeking the spirit. You are the spirit using a body to remember love.